we got talking about some G1 cores in the chat and how they should be and how good they should be. So the question I'm going to put to you guys is, should a G1 core be better than a prime core? So we have sort of set standards in the game surrounded by the prime cores. So if we look at some of the prime cores, so, you know, Amalgamous doing around 16% extra damage. You know, Alchemist healing 15%. Megatronus doing around 50% extra damage in an area. Micronus healing 2.2%. So these are all sort of like top end sort of barriers of entry where like that is the maximum they will sort of go to, and they won't really go past that in most cases. But the big question is, with all these G1s coming out, it costs quite a bit to chase these G1 cores. You know, they're not cheap. They're not easy to get. People do chase these and, you know, will buy a bundle for like $100 just to get the G1 core if it's good. So this is why, one, I think that the G1 cores need to be good, because they're not available free to play really. I mean, they are. But if I want Roadbusters G1 and G Metal, how long is that going to take me to get free to play? A long time. I might get lucky. But if I want a full team of it, well, if I want all 8, that's almost impossible free to play to get all 8 G1s in G Metal. And so we've got the Prime Core, which is nothing wrong with that because the Prime Cores are good. But you start to think that the Prime Cores got released in what? 1998? 2018? I think it was, 2017? It was a long time ago when these Prime Cores were released. And I think that they used to go to 15, I think, and they increased them to 20. Have they always gone to 20? I think that they got increased from 15 to 20 a long while back. But the big question is that, you know, should G1 cores be better than Prime Cores? And for a long time, I said no. Prime Cores are Prime Cores, and they should be the best in the game. But now, that's also going against the fact that I say that new content should be better than older content. And I think that Prime Cores have got their use in the game. But in terms of healing numbers and damage numbers, I think it's time that we can surpass these. And there's nothing wrong with having another core that's as good as or better than Amalgamous. You know, why not? Because Amalgamous, I can put it on Laser Optimus, I can put it on Sentius, I can put it on Impactor. It's like a one core fits all. But if I go and chase the G1 core for Sentius, that can only go on him. So it limits its use. So surely that should be better on Sentius. It should be better than Amalgamous, because I can put that on Sentius, put Amalgamous somewhere else. If I have, you know, a core for Star Saber, I know he's got a core already, but, you know, that does crazy amount of damage, then it should do more than Megatronus does, because I can put Megatronus on anyone. But the core specific for Star Saber, which is hard to get, in my opinion, needs to be better than Megatronus. Even if it's an extra 5 or 10%, it needs to be better. And someone else said in one of the chats that they're tired of seeing G1 cores that only have one use. And they kind of got a point. That, you know, it needs to have maybe 2 uses and make that bot better. And Space Hip once said to me, they said that we shouldn't be using Ability 11 or G1 cores to correct a bot's downfall. But for me, that's what it is. What is this bot missing from being complete? From being, it can stay alive, it can do damage, it has good health. What does this bot need? That's what I ultimately look at when I look at G1 cores Ability 11s. What does this bot need? This bot needs this. Okay, what's the best way to give him that? And that's what a G1 core needs to do. And it needs to pass anything else that's in the game and work unbelievably well for that one bot. And that for me makes G1s surpass Prime Cores. But we found that they're still stuck with the Prime Cores being the top level of the game. What do you guys think? Would you be happy that G1 cores surpass Prime Cores? You know, so Prime Cores been in the game for a long time. I always say old content should be not as good as new content. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys, on whether you think Prime Cores should be as relevant as G1 cores. But me personally, with the amount of chasing and money that's involved in chasing G1 cores, they should be the, you know, penultimate, you know, top core for those bots. So everyone else is put in. Pen Lancaster, I think a G1 core should be on par with the Prime core. But then again, so here's the point. So it's on par. So if I have, let me have a think a minute. So if I've got Primer, does, alright, it's not maxed out, but 21% extra damage for 5 seconds. If I get a G1 core for Beachcomber in the future, and it makes him do 21% extra damage for 5 seconds, why chase that G1 core and why level it when I've got Primer core that will do that already? Why spend that money chasing it? But yeah, if he had 30%, then I want that because it will replace Primer. You know, I'm not saying cores like Alpha Trion should be made extinct or anything like that, but there should always be that sort of little bit of an edge where you're like, this core gives more than what I've already got, so I want to chase that. If it doesn't give more, and a good example of that is those G1 cores that are like Enhanced Ordnance but do less, and no one goes towards them. When you look at, I think it's Firefly one, where the Enhanced Ordnance does more damage than the G1, and no one really chases the G1 and thinks it's pretty awful because it doesn't do the same amount of damage. Why would you chase that when you've got a core already that does more damage, and that's what you're using for? So that's my point.